Welcome back, and thank you for watching. This afternoon we have Mayor Earl Johnson with us, and we always love to have the mayor here the day after they have the city council meeting. Y'all had a pretty good city council meeting last night, didn't you, Mayor?
We did. We had about 10 items on the agenda, which is a good number because we meet twice a month. I always remind people that we meet on the first and third Tuesday of each month, and the workshop starts at 5 o'clock up on the third floor, and then the regular session, the official session, starts at 6 o'clock down in the council chambers on the second floor. And we always invite people to come and watch their city business being conducted because there's a lot of important stuff that goes on, and I think it's important that the public stays plugged in to what we're doing.
Well, one of the issues y'all brought up last night was refinancing some outstanding debt.
Well, what we did was we've had a short-term line of credit or credit for short-term debt for many years, and our advisors, our credit advisors, advised us to take some of that short-term credit and convert it into long-term, and that would improve our cash standing and improve our standing with the Standard & Poor's folks in New York, and we think will help improve us when we go back for a re-rating maybe later this year. No more. We didn't borrow any more money. We just changed the status of the debt so that it shows up differently on our books. But the long and the short of it is, it puts us in a position to start paying that debt down on a monthly basis, and rather than just paying the interest and renewing every year. So
that'll save some money over short term and a long term.
Over the long term, it'll save a lot of money, right?
Well, that's great. I saw that you met with y'all had a meeting this week with your retail strategies people, with some business people, didn't you? And then brought that up at the council meeting. We
did. Retail Strategies is the company that we contracted with about 3 months ago, and these folks are real specialists in helping communities like Andalusia or all sizes of communities, but communities all over Alabama and all over the southeastern part of the United States to attract new retail to their community. And so we contracted them about 3 months ago. And since that period of time, they've been gathering data about Andalusia and Covenant County, about the retailers that we have here now that are presently in Andalusia, and bringing together a strategic plan for them to go out and represent us at these large these conventions that they have all over the country, where retailers come together to meet with folks, communities, and so forth. Well, we can't afford to go to all those meetings. We don't have the time or the resources to do it. And quite frankly, we don't really have the expertise.
Well, I was in business my life, and I wouldn't know how to attract a business for. It's really an art to it, and it's a business. Well, it is a business attracting business.
It is, and there's some art to it, but really it's become a science.
Right.
It's become a statistical
Somebody
science.
just doesn't get a map and say, I believe I ought to put up business in Andalusia. They got to have the raw data. They got to know the population and car counts, all kind of stuff.
They go in incredible detail as far as what kind of community we have, the demographics, the median income, disposable income, the number of households, who lives in those households, or is it a husband and wife and one child, or is it, they got all that breakdown. They know how much money is leaving Andalusia and going to other markets and being spent, and that's called leakage, or we call it leakage, where that money is leaving here and going to other communities. They know exactly how much that is. Theoretically and statistically, they know that.
Was anything brought up about downtown Andalusia? A lot of people are concerned with downtown Andalusia.
Absolutely, and they will be helping us to try to identify retail businesses that would have an interest in locating in the downtown part of our city, as well as the areas out on the fringes around the bypass and other highly traveled areas. But also, certain businesses that sort of cater to downtown type locations. So they will be helping us with that. They also will be working with existing retail businesses and helping them recognize potential new customers and new markets that they could get in with their existing businesses. In other words, expanding local business. So it's not just to bring new business in, but it is to expand existing businesses as well. Also, it is important that we are not in a position of bringing retailers in that are just taken away from one retailer in Andalusia and putting in another spot in Andalusia. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So it's very complicated and complex, quite frankly. And you're right. It is a highly competitive business, and these folks are experts at it. So they came in last night and made a presentation to the city council on where they are in that process, and then they stayed after the council meeting and met with some local business folks, developers and landowners and folks in the real estate business, and brought them in on the plan. And they will come back later and hold some more public meetings and invite the public to come. But last night was more focused on stakeholders right now, people who own property in commercial areas, and people who are developers, and people who are in the real estate business and know what we need and where we need it.
Everybody be on the same page when this is through.
I think so.
And that'll be most helpful.
Yes, sir. And I think it's a 5-year contract, if I remember, a 3-year contract. And as I said, they will represent us at all of these large conventions where the national and regional retailers come all at one time. They're in one place. For example, in about 3 weeks, they're going to be in Las Vegas. And there will be thousands of retailers out there meeting with people like Retail Strategies. And Retail Strategies will have a booth out there, not a booth, but a setup inside the convention center. And they have relationships that are built with, already have relationships built with site planners and site finders for these retailers. So they will make some contacts, and the idea is that they will do that over and over and over again all over the nation, not just the one in Las Vegas, which is ICSC meeting that's coming up in 2 or 3 weeks. But they have plans to be in Dallas later this year, in Atlanta, Tampa, Charlotte, North Carolina, Chicago, and I believe St. Louis. So they cover a huge part of and New York City. Well,
I've actually talked to the owners of Zaxby's and Taco Bell, and neither one of them, they grossly underestimated what kind of business they would have. My goodness, the bypass was blocked all the way to Georgetta, it looked like.
Well, I jokingly told both of those folks,
yeah,
the Zaxby's and the Taco Bell, that when they open, they'd have to hire the Mississippi National Guard to keep order out in the parking lot, because that's how busy
just about had to.
And it almost came to that, right?
But you know, the per store sales, Andalusia by far, all the retailers do by far better than the national average.
Well, the Zaxby's owners told me that they had the second highest opening 2 weeks of any Zaxby's in the company, the entire company. I've had another national chain or regional chain that has told me the same thing, that his store in Andalusia, Alabama, is the second highest grossing store in the country, in the whole
country, yeah.
And so that says a lot about. First, it says a lot.
There's not a single restaurant in town, whether it's mom and pop or national chains, that isn't busy every day.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like we're the restaurant center of the South or something.
Well, and we've got others looking at us, and different kinds of restaurants looking at us. Right now we've got a steak and seafood, more go in and sit down and spend a little time type restaurant is looking at us. And we got others that are interested in Andalusia, but what Retail Strategies, while they will be involved in helping us recruit and bring restaurants, but they'll be involved in recruiting all kinds of retail business, not just that.
Yeah, and I noticed, speaking of business, that y'all also had the business of the sales tax holiday for back
Right.
to school.
Exactly. You know, several years ago, the state of Alabama adopted the back to school tax-free weekend concept.
Right.
And it gives folks who have children in school an opportunity to go during one weekend of the year and buy back to school stuff, and a lot of things qualify for that. It's not just notebooks and pencils and crayons and stuff, but clothes and shoes and some computer stuff and all kinds of issues, all kinds of merchandise that you can buy in that period of time up to a certain amount of money. I think it starts on midnight of the 7th, which is Friday night.
Of August?
August. That's right.
Yeah, August.
Yeah.
Because this is the school year's fixing to be.
I know.
I'm school this year.
I'm getting.
That's right.
Time's flying by so fast.
And we're just having a good time here.
But midnight of August the 7th and ending on midnight of August the 9th.
There's so many things in this town that are children friendly. And at Springdale, well, first we had 3 Nights Market last weekend, and that was free.
Right.
And the kids got to do all the bounce houses. Well, this weekend at Springdale, the mental health is having their children's appreciation or awareness weekend this week. And they're going to have free bouncy houses, free food. And, you know, when children are on a budget, I mean, when you have children, you are on a budget.
Yep.
And that sales tax holiday is great.
It is.
For buying clothes and buying but what a great place to live where almost every weekend there's something free to do with your kids, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, well, getting back to the sales tax-free weekend, the state's 4 cents of sales tax will be off that weekend.
Right.
The county's 2 cents will be off that weekend, and the city's 3.5 cents will be off. So it'll be, if something sells for $1, that's what you pay for it. You pay no tax on it, and that's, you know, if you're buying several $100s worth of merchandise, that can add up.
It'll stretch, won't it?
So that's a good thing.
Y'all had another abatement last night, didn't you?
We always have, almost every council meeting, we have some abatement issue, and folks who are not familiar with that term, abatement means dealing with issues, abandoned buildings, weeds that have grown up in yard, properties, and those kinds of things. Almost every council meeting, we have two a month, we have at least 3 or 4 abatement issues that we deal with. So we're very active in that. Trying to keep our city looking nice and clean.
I saw where Ronnie Kilgore had a little.
Ronnie Kilgore with the Andalusia Classics and Street Rods. They did a calendar last year.
Wasn't that a beautiful? In front of City Hall with all those cars.
About 25 or 30 classic automobiles parked out there in front of City Hall, and they got up on some kind of a lift. I don't know what it was.
I don't either.
But took a great shot back at City Hall with those vehicles, and then they fixed that up, put us in a frame, a matted frame.
Yeah.
And
they gave you the
photograph. And gave us and we've got it hung in one of our break rooms right now.
They were selling those calendars for $8 a piece.
Right.
And there was about $20,000 worth of bargains in it, you know. But anyway, that one photograph in front of the City Hall was a pretty vintage photograph I've seen of Andalusia.
Really neat. It sure was.
Did I tell you about the lady from California going around taking pictures?
Someone told me that.
Anyway, people come to our town and they take pictures all the time. And Margot's got her artwork down there at the library, and Kathy Powell's got her artwork out at the elementary school. And the talent that is in this community is unbelievable.
It really is.
For the size town it is.
And speaking of talent and things to do on the weekends, how about this? The Alabama High School Rodeo Association is going to have their final rodeo competition in Andalusia once again.
And that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It fills up every motel room between here and Ott.
Right. And it will be, I don't have the dates on that, but they'll be coming out with it in a couple of weeks, I think. And in any event, we have quite a few young folks here in Covington County who will be participating and competing in that. And there'll be folks coming in from all over the state of Alabama. And they love to come to Andalusia because of the friendliness of our people. They feel welcome. We're able to help them out with some of their expenses. City Council last night voted to match a grant from the Covington County Commission in the amount of $6,000 to help them defray their expenses. And they have quite a number of expenses that they have coming from all over the state and putting on an event such as that. That association also grants quite a number of scholarships to the winners in the various categories in the rodeo. So folks, keep your eyes open and your ears alert for the dates on that. I'm sorry I don't have that, but if you just watch.
Well, we'll be announcing that. But you're talking about when they come into the store and at the sporting store, they're some of the nicest, cleanest, sweetest people you've ever met in your life. And they come in here and they just love Andalusia. They love it.
Well, that's what their leaders told us. The president of the association was here last night, and along with several other members of that group, including some of the young folks. So we were proud to see them come in, and we were glad that we were in a position to help them continue to come to Andalusia, because again, even if you're not competing, if it's just great entertainment to go out there and watch.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the rodeoers, the kids involved in the rodeo, and watch the competition, but it's just great entertainment for
how wonderful it is that we've got the Kiwanis building to have the Relay for Life, and we also have that arena that is maintained perfectly, and for all this other stuff like that.
So anyway, that pretty much covers last night. We had a good council meeting, and again, we always like to remind folks of first and third Tuesday of each month, and you're invited to come and sit in with us.
Well, thank you for being with us today, Mayor Johnson, and thank you for having leadership that makes this town a fun place to live. It's a good place to be.
It is, and you know, we have a lot of contributors to the success of Andalusia. It doesn't come from City Hall. It comes from the community. A great Chamber of Commerce, great business people. What you're doing here helps a lot.
Well, we just want to have the good news, old brother. And you know, it is good news to live here, and if you live here, you need to thank the Lord every day, because there's something to do all the time that's positive.
Absolutely.
It really is. Great town. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you.